He didn't know whether he was running toward the flames or away from the life that had already burned him. All he knew was that his little girl's voice, "Daddy, be a hero," somehow echoed louder than the sirens. And so, through smoke and heat, a single father saved the woman who had the power to destroy, or rewrite, his entire future. Ethan Hart never planned on being a hero. Most days, he barely managed to be strong enough for his 7-year-old daughter, Lily. After his wife passed away 2 years ago, life became a series of battles, some big, like overdue bills, and some small, like pretending everything was fine for Lily's sake. He worked as a night security guard at the towering Kingston Corporation headquarters, a job he took only because it paid just enough to keep food on the table. Tonight was supposed to be just another quiet shift. But fate doesn't knock, it explodes. It started with a shudder beneath his feet, then alarms shrieked across every floor. Ethan saw smoke rushing from the elevator shafts and panicked employees pouring down the stairs. He directed them out, heart pounding, calling out for anyone still inside. Then he heard it, coughing, faint, fading, the CEO's office. Everyone called her cold, untouchable. Victoria Graves, the Iron Woman in designer heels. Ethan had only seen her from afar, always surrounded by power, always moving too fast to notice the people holding up her empire, but now, she was the one who needed saving. He didn't hesitate. That wasn't who he was. He kicked the smoke-filled office door open and found her collapsed behind her glass desk. She tried to stand but her body gave up. She was trembling, her breaths shallow. "It's okay," he said, lifting her onto his back. "I've got you." Her arms loosely wrapped around him as he forced his way through choking smoke and falling debris. His lungs screamed for air, his eyes burned, but he kept going, because someone once kept going for him. Outside, firefighters rushed in to take her from his arms. Ethan stumbled and coughed violently, but relief washed over him. She was alive. Then Victoria's eyes opened. She looked at him, studying his soot-streaked face. Her voice was soft at first. "You work here?" she asked. Ethan nodded, fighting for breath, tears stinging from more than just the smoke. Her next words cut deeper than flame. "Then why were you the only one who came back for me?" Ethan froze. He didn't know what to say. Until she added something even more unexpected, "What's your name?" And that's when everything began to change. The hospital smelled like bleach and stale hope. Ethan sat in the hallway outside Victoria's room, refusing to go home until he knew she would be all right. He stared at a half-burned photo of Lily he kept in his back pocket. He promised her he'd be home to make pancakes, yet here he was, worried about a woman who probably wouldn't remember him tomorrow. But he was wrong. The door opened, and there she was, pale but standing. "You saved my life," Victoria said quietly. "Let me return the favor." Ethan blinked, confused. "Ma'am, I didn't do it for, I know you didn't." Her tone softened for the first time. "That's why I trust you." Trust. A word he hadn't heard in a long time. She invited him to sit. Then she asked everything, about Lily, about his struggle to afford school supplies, about how he never once asked for help. Victoria's eyes glistened. "Do you know how many people only come near me because they want something? You risked everything, expecting nothing." Before he could respond, her assistant entered the room, alarmed. "Ms. Graves, the board wants a statement." "They're already blaming you." Victoria straightened, fire flashing in her eyes. "Let them wait." Then she looked at Ethan. "The world sees me as a powerful CEO," she whispered. "But tonight, I was helpless. Alone. You saw me as a human being." He smiled weakly. "That's all any of us are." Something in her expression cracked. Years of walls, brick by brick, crumbling. A week later, Ethan was invited to her office. Everything was pristine again, as if the fire had never existed. But Victoria had changed. And so had Ethan's future. "I want you to take a new role," she said. "Head of Safety Operations. Better hours. Better pay. Full benefits for Lily." Ethan choked up. "Why me?" Her voice shook with truth. because not all heroes wear capes, she said. Some wear security uniforms, and carry strangers out of fires. Ethan accepted, barely holding back tears that he thought that was it, the big life-changing moment. But it wasn't. Months later, as spring painted the city in soft colors, Lily ran into Victoria's office, laughing. Victoria picked her up effortlessly, like she belonged there. And maybe she did, because sometimes, miracles don't come with wings or magic. Sometimes, they arrive in the form of second chances, born from fire, born from love, born from the courage of a single dad who refused to walk away. And Victoria Graves, the woman who once lived above everyone, finally found someone worth standing beside. Together, they healed, together, they rebuilt, together, they discovered a new story, one no flame could ever destroy.